rise over run. Rise is really the change in y. How much does y go up by from 2 to 3?
1.
1. And then how much does 0 go up by from 0 to 1?
1.
So this slope is 1. Now you could also use the slope formula, which is slow. You don't want to do that, but it does work here. You would say 3 minus 2 over 1 minus 0, and you're still getting 1 over 1. So which of these four equations, A, B, C, and D, has a slope of 1?
A and B.
A and B. Yeah. So the other two are out. Now we've got to decide between a B value of 2 or minus 2. Is there any way to determine that from the table? The B value is the y-intercept. It's where it crosses the y-axis. The x value there is always 0. Either of those, any of that helping here?
I'm still kind of confused.
Okay. So the y-axis, so let me graph just something here with the y-axis here. Oops, that's not very good. Let's do this. Okay, so here, let me graph one point. So this point right here is 0, 1. This point a little further up is 0, 3. And this point up here is 0, 5. What do you notice is the same about all of these points?
The x value is the same?
X is always 0. X is always 0. So where in your table is x 0? Right here. So what is the y value there?
2.
2. That's your B value. That gives you your B value.
Okay.
Okay, so unfortunately, they don't give you very many problems like that. They give you more problems like the one I'm about to show you, where you don't get the 0 on the intercept. So let's look at another problem here. Let me snip this in. Okay, so it says the table above shows some pairs of x values and y values. Which of the following equations could represent the relationship between x and y? So one of the things you should notice right away is all the slopes are different in the answers, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You just need to determine the slope from the table here.
Okay.
Can you determine that for us, the slope? How are you calculating the slope? Are you using the slope formula? Are you just calculating the rise over the run? What are you using here?
I'm using the slope formula.
Okay.
The slope is 2.
Slope is 2. So which of these four equations of a line has a slope of 2?
Letter A.
Letter A. Now let's just say, for example, they all had a slope of 2. Okay. Just so we can get a little bit more into that y-intercept. So when you have y equals 2x plus b, how do you find the b value when it's not given in the table? Do you remember what you used to find b?
Not really.
Okay, so see how there's a y and an x in both equations, or in the equation here? Each of these x values and y values, whichever pair you want to use, allows you to find b. So it doesn't matter which one you use, you just pick one. And I'll just pick the last one, just to be different. So the last one, the X value is 4 and the Y value is 11.
Mhm.
Okay, so the Y goes in for 11 goes in for Y, 4 goes in for X, and then you solve for B. Okay, so you've got 2 times 4 is 8, 8 plus B, subtract 8 from both sides, and you get B equals 3. And that would allow you to find that, that first equation.
Okay.
Okay, so for the next one, I want you to find the slope. Let me snip this in. I won't snip in the answers yet, but I want you to find the slope. So you can treat f of x as y is really f of x.
Is it just asking for the slope?
I just want you to tell me the slope. Yeah, I'll give you the rest of this, but I want you to work on the skill that we've been doing here.
The slope is 4.
Slope is 4. I agree. Okay, so that means it's y equals 4x plus b. I want you to pick any of the points there and calculate the value of b.
B is 1.
B is 1. Yes, B is 1. Thank you. So it's y equals 4x plus 1. Now, the only difference in this problem and the others is that they use functional notation instead of y, but this is one of the answers here.
Okay.
Okay, so feel like you've got that part of it down. So as you know, as soon as you get the part down that you know, you feel really strong about, all of a sudden you get a problem that's you know, just a little bit more difficult, and that's what we're going to look at here for this one. So what I'm going to do is snip in a table and the question, because the question helps you determine which is the x and which is the y. But here's the table, and let me snip in the question. And what I want you to do is I want you to read the question and tell me which column is x and which column is y.
Y is the shipping charge and the weight is X.
Yes. Now, it just so happens that it's in the right order. X comes before y, but it may not always come that way. All right. So what I'd like you to do, and you're welcome to use a calculator. You may need to on this one, but I'd like you to find the slope, please.
Do you use the same like slope equation?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's the whole point is like, no matter what kind of problem they give you, if you have to find the equation of a line, which is what they are asking for here. I know it's this function, but they're all lines. You have to be able to find the slope no matter what it is that we're looking at.
Um, 3.99 is the slope.
Okay, very good. I agree with that. Okay. So if you write your equation y equals 3.99x plus b, could you solve for b?
Negative 3.01.
Sounds like an error there. Which row did you use for this?
I used 5 and 1694.
Okay, so 16.94 equals 3.99 times 5. Okay, so plus b. So that when you multiply by 5, it's so actually it is negative. Huh. That you are correct. I apologize. It just didn't seem right that there would be a negative
Yeah,
cost for that. But yeah, that is correct. Okay. Any questions on that before we move to just some slightly more difficult problems?
not really.
Okay. All right. Now, in addition to just being able to find the slope, okay, you really do want to always look at the answers. I mean, this is a technique for doing well on the test. You look at the answers and you should notice that there's something different about all of them. What is different about each and every one of these?
The slope is
Okay.
different. It goes up by 1.
And the b values as well.
Mhm.
But we always find the slope first. So you don't need to actually find the equation, you just need to find the slope.
Okay. Is it C?
So is the slope 3?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, the answer is yes. Okay. Good. So these should be more comfortable now. Here's a few other related questions to try that are just like this, where they're basically asking you for information from like can you take the information we've been talking about, the slope and the intercept, and write an equation of a line. So here you go. Take a look at that one.
Is it letter A?
Yes. So what would like letter B correspond to? What would be different about letter B?
It's negative.
It's going through -3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's look at another problem. I think there's one more like this, and then we'll move to some story problems, the word problems, the dreaded word problems here. But here's another one to look at. It's good that you're doing these quickly. Okay, so here's another problem for you to look at. Go ahead and look at that and let me know. Can you get it down to 2 answers before deciding between them?
Letter C.
Yeah, so the C and D have a slope of 1, and then obviously 0, 2 corresponds to letter C. Perfect. Okay, I found one more that's like this, and then we'll we'll truly do some story problems, but you have an answer for me, Julia, on this one?
I'm almost done with it.
Did you find the slope?
Yes.
So the slope should get you down to C or D.
Yes.
And then again, this point right here really helps. It gives you the intercept. It is the intercept.
Mhm.
Any
So it's
questions?
C.
Yes, yes. Verbalize, is there, what is unclear about this? What is,
Oh, nothing's unclear. It just
okay,
took me
yeah,
a second
sorry,
to
you
do.
just, the, without the, you know, the body language, sometimes I'm not sure if there's anything that's, you know, but, yeah,
Yeah.
let's, okay, so let's look at some problems now where there, where we're going to do some word problems here. So that these are more of like story problems. You've got to interpret rather than just write the equation of a line, but they're all equations of a line. So let me snip one in
Okay.
here and we'll look at this. So before we even read it, I just want you to focus on the answers. The answers are all in the form, you know, mx plus b, mx plus b, mx plus b, and so on. Okay, so we just have to find the slope. So let's read it and see if we can find the slope. The front of a roller coaster car is at the bottom of a hill and is 15 feet above the ground. If the front of the roller coaster car rises at a constant rate of 8 feet per second, which of the following equations gives the height h in feet of the front of the roller coaster car s seconds after it starts up the hill? So there's really only two numbers here, 15 feet and 8 feet per second. So the slope always has two units. It's got the top units and the bottom units.
Mhm.
So eight is for sure the slope in this problem. Because
Okay.
it's feet per second. It also even tells you that's a rate. Rate means slope. So which of these four equations has a slope of 8?
A and C.
Okay, so we can get rid of B and D. And the difference between A and C is in the intercept. 15 versus 335 over 15. And truthfully, I have no idea where they got 335 from, but you know, because the only other number they're giving us is 15. And that's what they're telling you. They're telling you it starts 15 feet above the ground. It's like saying if this is ground level, it's starting here and going up.
Okay.
So therefore it must be letter A.
Okay.
Now I think your strength is going to be in reading these problems. And so maybe these won't be as difficult as for a lot of students. A lot of students just despise these. They just would rather do, you know, quadratic formula and long division. But
Mhm.
these story problems are very common. You know, you're going to see a lot of these. You already have. All right, so let's look at this one here. You can, if you want to read it to yourself or read it out loud, it's up to you. But let's take a look at this problem here.
Um, is it letter D?
Sounds reasonable. So my question to you is he getting closer or further away?
Closer.
Yes, it says distance remaining. So it's like he started out 1,000 miles away, 250 miles a day. That's not very much, but he eventually gets there.
Hmm.
0 miles away. Yes, that's correct. That one was very fast, relative to some of the other ones we've done. Why was that one better for you?
I don't know.
Okay, okay. It's because there's something going on there that's really nice about that. Um, I mean, so we'll see. We'll look at another one here, kind of the same type of problem, and then we'll switch to a new topic here after
Okay.
this. All right, so go ahead and take a look at this one. If you have any questions, please ask, but go ahead and take a look at this one and see what else we can work on today. You have any questions for me about this one?
Um,
I'll point out that that word's pretty important. It helps you to reduce it down to 2 answers.
oh, okay. It's I think it's letter D.
So D goes up. So this decreases is supposed to tell you about the sign of the slope. Decreases means to go down means negative. So it's either A or B.
Okay.
And you notice I've been doing that a lot tonight. I've been trying to get you to get it down to 2 answers. That way your guess is an educated guess if if you do end up guessing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now these are both going down. How much is B going down by each time?
Wait, how much is
Yeah, B. How much is B going down by? What's the slope?
negative 500?
Right. So it's going down by 500. So when you look at the numbers themselves, though, like 212 degrees, you can't go down by 500 because it would go down too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an unreasonable amount. Now I'm actually seeing, okay, you probably saw this word right here, increase. Maybe that's what led you to choosing D.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a 500 increase, but you're also decreasing by about 1 degree F, and they're giving you the boiling point as your Y. So you have to think about it in terms of the change in Y over the change in X. So the change in Y is the minus 1 degrees F over the 500 feet, like that.
Okay.
Okay, so we've really tackled this topic quite in depth here. Let's just refresh, reset here, move to a new topic. I was looking for some triangle problems. I don't have a ton of good ones. They're mostly similar triangles in this that I'm seeing. I mean, there's a few other topics, but I'm seeing mostly similar triangles. So let me give you an example of that next here. Okay, so here are two triangles and they tell you that they're similar, or they want you to figure out the values so that they're similar, but you generally look to things as being similar. Okay, so what you generally want to find is figure out like the multiplier. Sorry, my screen having a technology issue here. Why is that happening? Just a moment. So like how do you go from the 5 to the 20? What do you multiply by?
By 4.
By 4. But if you needed to go the other direction, you would divide by
Divide.
4. Okay. Now it's asking here how much longer than segment EF is segment DE. So it'd be nice if you could find the actual length. So we need to take 29 and divide it by 4. So when you can't do it, you just write it as is.
Mm-hmm.
And then EF, we do the same thing. So that becomes 21 over 4. Now we're interested in the difference between them because this is how much longer.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer is it? And so you're just taking the difference between the two.
8 over 4.
8 over 4, yeah. And then that reduces to 2. So generally you want to find the sides when you're given these similar triangles.
Okay.
So let's kind of do a related problem here. I won't, this one asks for something different, but I'll do it in the same context of what we just did there. So let's just say these two triangles are similar.
Mm-hmm.
The triangles are similar. So I mean, I like to multiply. So how do you go from 5 to 10?
Multiply by 2.
By 2, or if you want to go the other direction, you divide by 2. So let's say we wanted to find CB from 8. What is the value of CB?
CB is 5.
BD is 5. That comes from this 10. CB has to
Okay.
come from the 8.
Oh, 4.
4. Okay, and let's say that this is 13. What would CD be?
13 over 2.
13 over 2. Good. Great. Okay, so now let's go to another problem that you might see with similar triangles. I'm not sure what you had in mind. They're mostly similar triangles. There's a few like special triangles, but the more of them are more of them are of this type. Special triangles are more useful in some of the other classes, but there's really two triangles here. And I think it's worth it, just like in geometry, to draw out two separate triangles. So you got 8 and 6 and 18. And then again, just like we talked about, you figure out the multiplier or the division, but I like the multiplier. Because multiplying is easier.
So, times 3, divide by 3.
Yeah, so what's this other line segment here?
$24.
Yes. Now the hypotenuses are not given. No hypotenuses are given. But what's the way that you find the hypotenuse from a right triangle if you know the legs?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared?
Yes. So you've got A and B. 6 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. Can you calculate the value of C, the hypotenuse here?
100.
C squared is 100.
Oh, C squared 10.
It's 10. Yeah. Now, whenever it's something nice like that, I'll remind you it's a Pythagorean triple.
Mhm.
3, 4, 5, but you multiply them by 2. So what is the hypotenuse of this larger triangle?
Mm,
You don't use Pythagorean theorem. Use the same way you went from sides to sides because they're similar.
Oh, okay. So is it 30?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's the whole point. Like you don't want to be doing Pythagorean theorem for something really complicated like this.
Okay.
Any questions on this or similar triangles?
No.
Okay. I think I've got one more here. Actually, I got to add in a little. Well, they've already done this. Yeah. Okay. So let's pick another topic here. I had some pulled up here. Yeah, let's do some quadratic stuff here. So let's look at, and we don't have a ton of time. There just isn't a ton on triangles. All right, so let me do this. We have looked at these before, but I know it's hard to see here. So the point that's given is -1, 4, and it's right there.
Mhm.
So it says the graph of a linear equation, that's the line, and the graph of a quadratic are shown. What is true about point -1, 4? Okay, so when it says satisfies, you can think of it as on and that like either line or curve. So is the point only on the quadratic equation?
No.
No, it's on the line also. Is the point only on the linear equation?
No.
Nope. Does it satisfy both equations?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so let me do this a little bit differently. I'm going to label some points here. A, B, C, and we already know that it's that right there. So so the point that satisfies only the quadratic equation, is that A, B, or C?
Only the quadratic?
Only, yeah, only. Let's look at letter A. Only the quadratic equation. Which of these 3 letters is only the quadratic equation?
B.
B. How about the one that only satisfies the linear equation?
C.
C. And obviously the other one would be A because it's neither. Good. All right, so let's look at another problem here of a quadratic. Okay. So it says, which of the following is an equation of the parabola graphed in the XY plane? All right, so some things you want to notice right away is, does the parabola open up or down?
Down.
Down. So since it opens down, which of the answers can we exclude? Like, is it minus in front or is it plus in front? Which is it when it opens down? Do you recall?
The minus is in front.
Minus, yeah. So C and D are out. Okay. Now, what happens at 2 and -3, like in words? Like what is the meaning of 2, x equals 2 and x equals -3?
That's where it crosses the x-axis.
Okay. So what is the y value there?
0.
0, yeah. So when you put 2 into one of these equations, what should your y value be?
0.
Okay, so I want you to tell me which one that is. Is it A or B?
B.
Yes. Okay, so let's look at another graph with some equations. Kind of going to do the same thing here. So first thing I would do is figure out whether the graph opens up or down.
Okay. Down.
Down. So which two answers can we eliminate? Which two have, or which two could it be? Maybe that's a better way to look at it. Like which one has a negative in front?
Letter B.
Okay, any others?
No.
So this 50 in C right here, really it could be over here on the right.
Oh. Okay.
So it could be that one. So it's either a B or C.
Okay.
Now what happens at, well, where does it cross?
0, 0, and 60, 0.
Yeah. So you said it, there y is 0 at both places. So for one of these x values, and maybe it's 60, you got to plug it into that or that. And one of them will give you 0. And it's okay with me if you want to use a calculator for this. Can you tell me which one it is though? Or you can plug in the 0. The 0 is also fine. You could plug the 0 into the x or the x here.
Is it? mm, Is it letter C?
It is letter C, yes. Which point did you try, the 0 or the 60?
I tried the 60.
Okay, and it should have given you 0.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so we are all done for today. I know we got another session tomorrow. Are we also doing SAT prep tomorrow?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I'll try to come up with a few topics in advance for us to work on. But thank you for letting me help you, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.